Hey, this is Pastor Randy with Menorah Minute. I'd like to welcome you to the program, where today I want to talk about the resurrection. And specifically, I want to talk about the resurrection from a different perspective, and that is from the Old Testament. Many people assume that the resurrection is only found in the New, or nothing could be further from the truth. We find several passages talking about the resurrection from an Old Testament Hebraic standpoint. So today I want to share those with you. And the first one is in Job 19:25 through 27. So here's what Job says. He says, "For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand in the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Eloah, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me." So here we find from Job, which, by the way, as most scholars say, predates the patriarchs, or around the patriarchs' time, confirming that there is a resurrection, that we will rise, even though our body will decay. Now, the next two examples of this is in Psalms, and Psalms really has a lot to say about so many important topics, including the resurrection. So in Psalms 16 and 9 through 11, it says therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices, my flesh also shall rest in hope. Hope of what? Hope of the resurrection. So verse 10 says, "For thou wilt not leave my soul in the grave, neither will you suffer your Holy One to see corruption." Now, this is also a prophetic reference to Yahweh, but it also shows the understanding of a resurrection. Verse 11 says, "Thou wilt show me the path of life, and the presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand there are pleasures forevermore." Again, the evermore referring to the resurrection. So we find again, as we found in Job, the Old Testament speaks of this concept of the resurrection. Now I want to look at another passage here, and this is Psalms 49. And just as we saw in the previous passage, this passage confirms in a resurrection. It's one verse, Psalms 49, verse 15. It says, "But Elohim will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me." So again, no doubt, this is referring to the resurrection of the dead. And we find here that Yahweh has the power to resurrect us from the grave. And again, Old Testament, not New Testament. Isaiah 26 is a really great passage in reference to the resurrection passage. Maybe many people are not familiar with, but nonetheless a great passage and very descriptive of the resurrection. It's Isaiah 26 and verse 19. It says, "The dead men shall live together with my dead body. Shall they arise, awake and sing? You that dwell in dust, for my dew is as a dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead." So again, a reference to the resurrection, showing that we will be resurrected from the grave. When we die, we go to the grave, we wait in the grave unconsciously, and yet we find here that someday we will be resurrected. Now, the most probably well-known prophecies, if you will, of the resurrection in the Old Testament is the one found in Daniel. So in Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, we find here the prophet describing and telling us of a resurrection. He says, "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Now, some believe this is a reference to the second resurrection, maybe the first. I do believe a second resurrection is referenced here because we find here both the righteous and the wicked will be judged. But again, the point here with this program is that we find one more passage indicating that the resurrection, again, is not a New Testament concept. This is something rooted in the Old Testament. And really everything we find within the New Testament is rooted within the Old Testament. The continuity between these books is really remarkable. And we see this here through this concept, again, of the resurrection. You know, I hope that this short program has been a blessing to you. I hope maybe you've learned something. You understand the resurrection a bit better from the Old Testament. I would encourage you to share this program, to like the channel. And with that, I would wish you all a good day, and may Yahweh bless you.